The New England Patriots just dropped this key factor. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron. This is Sports Talk Patriots on the daily, pushing out that content for people just like you who love Patriots football. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get rolling. So today, this week, AVP Gerard Mayo, the Patriots organization, dropped a very important goal for the New England Patriots, and we're going to jump right into it. So that goal being, what do we want our team to look like? Do we want to continue to give veteran players time to play? We know, hey, they're not going to be making a Super Bowl. They're not going to be contending necessarily, obviously, we know, for the playoffs. So the question becomes, what does the rest of the season look like? And I think this is vitally important because it is going to set you up continuously going into the next year and the year after that when it comes to this rebuild. And honestly, I am a firm believer. Laugh at me all you want. I can see the New England Patriots making a run at the playoffs in the 2025-2026 season. And the reason I say that, first, look at this, the AFC East. The AFC East is weak when it comes to the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers could easily, if he wanted to, retire after this year. They have tried to save this organization by getting Devontae Adams, and it has not helped. They've dumped their coach, all these different issues. The Titanic is sinking. You've heard me say that more than once. The Titanic's sinking. They are trying to save it. They're not going to save it. The Miami Dolphins, yes, they do have weapons, and they could prove us wrong, and they could go on a winning streak the rest of this year. But when it comes down to it, they have had their hiccups, and they still have a lot of stuff to fix. The big dog on campus right now in the AFC East is the Buffalo Bills. So the big thing is the New England Patriots, to get back to relevance, is being able to set up this question, and this is the goal they talk about, AVP and company talk about, is do we continue to play these veterans that we know aren't necessarily going to be part of our rebuild, or are we going to start playing younger players that can get key experience, even though it might be frustrating at times, even though there might be some hiccups, but give them this experience to see, hey, are they going to have what it takes to continue on in this rebuild, or are we going to have to find more people? So case in point, we look at Jalen Polk. Jalen Polk is a wide receiver that we have talked about many, many times on this show. We've talked about the fact that he came out of Washington at a very, from a offense that was a very prolific passing offense, made it all the way to the national championship, and he was touted for his hands, his speed, his route running ability, not only his route running ability, but the ability to run multiple routes throughout a game and have multiple catch, almost like you look like Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Detroit Lions can run a variety of different routes. He has great hands, and I am not saying Jalen Polk is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I am not saying that at all. But what I am saying is he does have a ton of potential. So putting him in game still, even though he has had his miscues, he has had his drops, the ball has hit him in the hands, and he has been frustrated. And I've talked about it, and I've seen it in a million different comments, whether it's on this show, on other channels, on Reddit, whatever it might be, people upset with Jalen Polk. But again, it's one of those things where he has that potential. So the question is, do the Patriots continue to play him, or they play and people who probably aren't necessarily going to be up, but like look at people like Kendrick Bourne. Again, no issue with Kendrick Bourne, but the question is, down the road, is he going to be a vital part of this rebuild? Probably not. Right now, yes, he can be a leader on this wide receiver core, but I think it is important that Jalen Polk, much like AVP says, is still getting his reps in. Along with Jalen Polk is Javon Baker. Javon Baker is one of those guys. He is out of UFC. We've talked about, again, he can attack at the high point. He has that size, and we have yet to see him perform. He was in the game. He was in the game last week, but the question is, will he continue to be in the games? And I think the answer is yes. Being able to give him that game time experience and get him out there doing, running different routes, even blocking, whatever it might be, to get used to the NFL level, I think will be key for him. And the big thing for especially these two at wide receivers is continuously moving them on through the season where their load gets more and more and more if they show that they can do it. Now, you might say, Aaron, I am ripping my hair out right now because Jalen Polk has not shown us anything. Yes, you are correct. But at the same time, where are the New England Patriots going? I'm not saying go out there and lose. I'm not saying that at all. But I do think what AVP is trying to say is, hey, let's go out there and we need to give these guys experience. So I think two of the biggest ones that I think have been highly touted by the New England franchise and others, especially after they got drafted, are Baker and are Polk. So I think those are two guys hopefully we will see more of, especially against Chicago, where we can see continuously what they can do, and hopefully Drake May can get them the ball, but as well on different things of, hey, listen, are you going to be able to block? If you ain't going to block, you're not going to get the ball. As simple as that. I think that's coaching one-on-one. Go out there and block. If you can't block, all right, see ya. We don't want you. You need to be a selfless player. So I think that's one of the huge things. But as well, it's on your own, be able to work on the jug machines and all these different things. As well, on the receiving core, we look at someone like Jaheim Bell. Jaheim Bell is someone I was very, very, very high on going into the season. He is a very versatile player. He's very talented. He's aggressive. Coming out of a Florida State team that a lot of people say should have been in the national championship or should have been in the playoffs without their first-string quarterback. No, they shouldn't have. But when it comes down to it, he has the intangibles to be a tight end great for the New England Patriots. I do firmly believe that. He was in the game this prior week when they were playing the Titans. He got I believe he got a pass, or it was the week before, but he got a pass. He got some targets. He had some blocks, and it's getting them in again. In reiterating, they're getting this experience. Now, some other rookies that we also need to throw in there is Layden Robinson. Layden Robinson, between the two linemen, Caden Wallace and himself, Robinson has got a lot more playing time. Beginning of the season, I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought it was going to be more Wallace than it was Robinson. I've been proven wrong. Now, a lot of times it's easier to get interior offensive linemen in there as opposed to tackles. Tackles, it can be much harder, especially when you're going up against elite pass rushers. So, but Layden Robinson getting in there, getting that game time experience, and getting those starts under his belt, similar to when City So was in there, and kind of addressing, hey, is this someone moving forward that could be a starter? Is this someone moving forward that could just be a backup? Where are we plugging him in? And looking at all these kind of different aspects. We also look at the cornerback in Marcellus Dial out of South Carolina. He's a tall, long cornerback. He is someone that I think a lot of people going into the season saw as potentially just making the practice squad. He is on the 53-man roster. And so it's one of those things where, yes, you have Christian Gonzalez, absolute dog, absolute stud, as the cornerback one, but then you look at CB2 and you look at Jay Jones, and Jay Jones is getting older. A lot of people said during this trade period that it would be possible that he would be traded to some different teams just based on his age. But we know that is going to be a position down the road, probably not the most important position right now, but it is a position that needs to be taken care of at some point. So you look at all these different things, and you ask this question: do we take this young talent that we have on this Patriots team and we give them the experience that they so desperately need to help in this rebuild, to help us understand two things? One, are they up for the task? Or two, can they not handle it? And what do we need to assess when we go into the offseason? Because if they're not really getting into the game and they're not getting time and they're not getting snaps, and we get to the draft, we get to free agency, all these different things, then what are we going to do? What are we going to do? There's just going to be more questions. So I think AVP offensively, as the offensive coordinator, Gerard Mayo, Elliott Wolf, they all need to be scheming and deciding, hey, what are we going to do? So I think going back to this key factor, this goal is to understand, yes, we're not making the Super Bowl. Yes, we're not making the playoffs, but to get this young talent into the game and see what they can do down the stretch through the end of the season. There have been times that you have seen younger players, whether it's on the Patriots, other teams that have gone in and proven themselves. You look at Pop Douglas, one of my favorite players on the New England Patriots, really proved himself last year when Kendrick Bourne went out. The question is, are other people going to step up to that role? They are in a pivotal spot. They are at a great spot in their career where they are young and they're on a rebuild team and they can prove themselves. They can come in and say, hey, I deserve to be on this team. But the question is, are they going to work? They have a talented quarterback in Drake May. It's their decision to make. What are they going to do? So comment below. Tell me what you think about that goal for the New England Patriots moving forward. As well, comment maybe other players you want to see more playing time in down the stretch. Again, this is Sports Talk Patriots on the daily, pushing out that content for people just like you. Comment below. Subscribe on your way out. We'll talk later. Peace.